It's illegal, unlawful.
It's not going to happen. I mean, Natalie Tocci, who's advisor to Federica Mogherini, the European Union foreign policy chief, says the deal could be saved if there was US compliance, but this is not a likely proposition. So the Europeans' position is to try to strengthen what they call INSTEX, which is this framework through which the sanctions could to some extent be circumvented, especially allowing Iran to receive humanitarian aid, medicines and so on, which are exempt under the US sanctions. Do you have any faith that this would work? Do you have any faith in it?
You want to accept US predominance in global economy, even to your own detriment?
Well, I'm just telling you what the Europeans say.
Unfortunately, this is what they're saying, and I do not think this way they can resolve this crisis or any crisis. The Europeans and the rest of the global community are strong enough to withstand this. There is no need to try to circumvent it. But if they want to circumvent it through INSTEX, we have to see whether there is any actual benefit for the Iranian people. You see, the people are dying from cancer. People are dying, kids are dying from EB. People are dying from MS. Just because there are a very limited area of pharmaceuticals that we cannot produce in Iran, and the United States, the United States says that they are exempt from sanctions.
They are exempt.
But financial transactions in order to purchase them are not exempt. Of course, the Americans say they are exempt, but they're not exempt.
All right, so you've given the Europeans 60 days again until early September to try to come up with some kind of way out of this to mitigate this impact of sanctions on the Iranians.
We haven't given them any ultimatums. What we did was, for an entire year, they asked us for a few weeks. We gave them about 60 weeks. And then we started, based on the agreement, not outside the agreement. The United States, as you know, walked out of the agreement. But we used a mechanism within the agreement in order to show them that they need to come back to the agreement and implement it. So we're not giving anybody any ultimatums. We are just implementing what we told them very transparently, that these will be the steps that we will take.
Under the nuclear deal, Iran is only allowed to enrich its uranium to 3.67. We now know that you are enriching uranium beyond that to around 4.5. So why do this? Because it doesn't help the Europeans make your case, does it, to the Americans?
We implemented the agreement fully. IAEA made 15 reports from the beginning, 5 of them after the US withdrawal, and all of them indicated that Iran was fulfilling its commitments fully. Unfortunately, the Europeans could not take advantage of these and just drag their feet. It won't happen again. You know, Iran is a country with an old civilization. For us, the dignity of our people is extremely important.
But why enrich the uranium, Foreign Minister? Because President Rouhani said on July the 7th, our enrichment level will no longer be 3.67. We will increase beyond this to as much as we want, as much as is necessary, and as much as we need. And you know, the Europeans say no partial compliance is acceptable.
Well, the Europeans cannot say partial or full compliance, whether it's acceptable or not. It's the deal itself. Paragraph 36 of the deal says that Iran or the other side, if we are not satisfied with the implementation of the deal by the other side, we can take some measures within the deal. That is in order to keep the deal surviving, to keep it from going totally dead.
So will you continue to enrich levels of uranium?
This deal was written based on total mistrust. Neither side trusted the other side. That is why we put everything in black and white. Very clearly stated that if we don't comply, what they can take, if we are the initial breakers of the deal, they can take measures. If they are the initial breakers of the deal, they can also take measures.
So you've got to allay fears, haven't you, Foreign Minister? The Iranians, according to the British Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt, he has said this week that Iran is a year away from developing a nuclear bomb.
If Iran wanted to build a bomb, we would have built a bomb a long time ago. We could have built a bomb a long time ago. We do not want to build a bomb because we believe that a nuclear bomb will not augment our security. But if the Europeans are serious about a nuclear weapons-free Middle East, there is somewhere else that they need to be looking, and that's Israel, where they have at least 200 nuclear warheads.
President Trump said quite recently that he was 10 minutes away from war with Iran over the shooting down of the unmanned US drone over what America says was international waters, and the French President Emmanuel Macron agrees with that. You say no, it was over Iranian waters and so on. But do you accept that the US doesn't want war?
I accept that President Trump doesn't want war, but I know that there are people in his administration who are crazy for war, who thirst for war.
John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, who...
I don't think I need to mention him. President Trump himself has mentioned it.
How do you assess the possibility, the likelihood of some kind of military engagement between Iran and America?
You see, it's called Persian Gulf for a reason. It's next to our coast. We have almost 1,500 miles of coast with Persian Gulf. It's not the Gulf of Mexico. We're there, we're protecting our territorial waters, and if this drone had been shot in international waters, over international airspace, why did we got to pick up the pieces?
All right, so, well, as I told you, the Americans and supported by, as I said, President Macron say it happened over international waters.
Was President Macron around?
Well, they had their intelligence.
That's what we told him.
All right.
Were you there?
But
we are there.
But there have been tensions.